Shalom, shalom. Give all praise Yahweh Shem Yoshua Bashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles for the edification and knowledge. And to Wadi Yahweh Shem Yoshua, put in the spirit of elders and apostles so we become edified regarding his truth and knowledge. And to Wadi Yahweh Shem Yoshua for truth and knowledge. Call holy Yahweh Shem Yoshua Bashem Rakakadash. Give all praise Yahweh Bashem Yoshua Bashem Rakakadash. We go to Isaiah 13 chapter. Bird of Babylon, which Isaiah the son of Amos did see. That's related to the judgment that's going to come upon Babylon. Pretty much the proclamation. Proclamation is that public announcement that's going to be. We'll get that word. Let's get that word. Proclamation. Proclamation against Babylon. Meaning proclamation. A public or official announcement, especially one dealing with a matter of great importance. So the judgment of Babylon pertaining to that is of the utmost of great importance, man. The words, similar words for that, decree, order, edict, command, rule, ruling. Public or official announcement of important matter. A clear declaration of something, man. So a clear declaration of a great importance relating to Babylon, man. Other words: announcement, declaration, pronouncement, statement. Pronunciamiento, notification, advertisement, publishing, broadcasting, blazeron, blazoning, shalaki. And pronunciamiento. Let's go back to Isaiah 13:1. Lift ye up a banner, sign upon the high mountain, exalt the voice into them, shake the hand, that they may go into the gates of the nobles. So one's in power. And I have commanded my sanctified ones, which are the prophets. I have also called my mighty ones for my anger, even them that rejoice in my highness. The noise of a multitude in the mountains, mountains represents that government, like as a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of the nations gathered together. The Lord of hosts, which is army, mustered the host of the battle. So that proclamation relating to these nations, what's going to happen to the nations, man. Related to judgment, man. They come from a far country, from the end of the heaven. And that's symbolically the missiles, man. And as it continues to read, even the Lord and the weapons of his indignation. Indignation is the righteous anger. His weapons ultimately is the missiles, man. And they're going to be coming far off from different corners, man. All four corners, all sides, man. To execute judgment, man. To destroy the whole land. Go to Revelations 11 and 14. Go to Revelations 9 and 12, man. Talk about that. The second woe has come, and the third woe come quickly, man. Woe is warning for what? For destruction, man. How ye for the day of the Lord is at hand. So it's nigh at hand, man. It's close. It shall come as a destruction from the Almighty. For when they say peace and safety, then sudden destruction come upon them like a woman in travail. 1 Thessalonians 5:3, man. It's going to come suddenly. Scripture talks about the Lord's judgment is going to be cruel and have fierce anger, man. So it's going to be cruel and have fierce anger. And when you go to cruel, that cruel relates to that. It could be a weapon related to his judgment is going to be cruel, because an instrument or tool to implement for punishment, man. And what's ultimately that tool that's going to be cruel, man? I'm not trying to rhyme, but what's that tool that's going to be cruel to relating to the judgment? Ultimately, the missiles, man, which are the arrows, man. Number 7. Therefore shall all hands be faint, and every man's heart shall melt. Every man's heart shall melt. All hands be faint. The haughty will be brought down low, and in the end, the Lord will be exalted, man. So even the strong man, the mighty man, will be brought down low that day, man. And only the Lord will be exalted that day, man. Amos 5:16-20 talks about the day of the Lord is very dark, and no light in it, man. And it talks about woe to you who desire this, a warning for destruction. Woe to you who desire the day of the Lord, for what end of it shall be to you? So it's going to be a day of darkness, very dark, and no light in it, man. It's not going to be a good day, man. Number 8. And they shall be afraid, and the pangs and sorrows shall take hold, which is the birth pangs of them. They shall be in pain as a woman in travail. They shall be amazed one at another. Their faces shall be as flames. That day of the Lord, many are going to be dumbfounded, be dismayed. Many are going to be shocked at what they see, man. All different types of mix of emotions that day, man. Because this is a day that no one ever experienced ever, man. And really can't prepare for just on a normal level. Next one, 13-9. Behold, the day of the Lord cometh cruel, both with wrath and fierce anger. And that's why, so the Lord's judgment is going to be both cruel with wrath and fierce anger, man. The cruelty of that judgment is going to be ultimately different diversity of forms of judgment. The ultimate one will be that of the missiles, man. The chariots and different things. To lay the land desolate. That city of confusion will be desolate, man. And he shall destroy the sinners thereof. For the slain of the Lord shall be many, man. Number 10. For the stars of heaven and the constellations thereof shall not give their light. So the sun is going to be dark like sackcloth. The stars in heavens and constellations are going to fall. The earth shall move to and fro like a drunkard, man. These are the signs of the things that's going to happen before the coming of the Lord, man. And the moon shall have no the moon shall lose its shining, man. For the stars in the heavens and the constellations thereof shall not give their light. The sun shall be darkened in his goings forth, and the moon shall not cause her light to shine, man. So all these things are going to happen, man. And I will punish the world for their wicked. For many great misery shall be done in the latter times because their great pride. And That's why these judgments are coming. Different forms of calamities and punishments are going to come upon the people, man. Ultimately, for what? Iniquity, man. Iniquity, transgression. 1 John 3 and 4. Sin is transgression of the law, man. Sin, man. Sin, pride, wickedness, man. And I will punish the world for their evil, and the wicked for their iniquity, which is sin. And I will cause the arrogance of the proud, which is the wicked, to cease. And I will lay the haughtiness of the terrible, man. Haughtiness is a prideful, very prideful, arrogant state, man. So the wicked, ones in powers and ones who have these characteristics, are going to be brought down low, man. And I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the gold wedge of Ophir. 7 women shall go to 1 man. First Isaiah 4 and 1, man. So a man's going to be a man of the Lord is going to be a very valuable, hot commodity. It's going to be more precious than gold that day, man. Wisdom now shall be the stability of thy town, the strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure, man. Isaiah 33 and 6, man. Because those men are going to have that stability, man. In those times, man. Spiritual. Because the rest is going to be very unstable times, man. Therefore, I will shake the heavens and the earth shall remove out of its place. The earth is going to be moved like a drunkard to and fro, man. It's going to literally be moved out of its axis, man. And the wrath of the Lord of hosts, which is armies, in the day of his fierce anger. The day of his fierce anger is the indignation that he's going to use, judge on his place, man. The Lord is angry at the wicked every day, man. 7:11 of Psalms. Let's go to 14, Isaiah 14. And it shall be as a chased roe, this is a deer, and as a sheep that no man taketh up. So that's going to be like a person that's vulnerable and open target, be marked, man. That every man, read it again, and it shall be as a chased roe, and as a sheep that no man and it shall be as a sheep, it should be as a shalak. And it shall be as a chased roe, and as a sheep that no man taketh up. They shall everyone turn into his own people, and flee everyone to his own land. So everyone's going to pretty much go to their own, man, that day, man. It's not going to be where everybody's going to be joining hand in hand with people, man. There's going to be a lot of division and separation. For the Lord, think not that I come to send peace on the earth. I tell you nay, but division, man. So the Lord is sending division, man. It's going to be a lot of division. People are going to go trust and go to their own. And go to their own spaces, man. And that chase row be like pretty much on the move, like a pilgrim, man. On the run, man. In the matter of speaking, pretty much being hunted, man. And a sheep with no man taketh up. So they're not going to have no hedge or protection, man. You're going to be pretty much open game in the open territory, man. Open space. And everyone that is found shall be thrust through. And everyone that is joined into them, go with Proverbs 11 and 21. Though join in hand, thou shalt not go unpunished, man. Though join in hand, thou shalt not go unpunished. Shalak, paraphrasing. 11:21, Proverbs, Isaiah 13 and 15, man. So ones who join hand in hand, they're not going to go unpunished regarding the sword, which is judgment, man. And everyone that is found shall be thrust through, and everyone that is joined into them shall fall by the sword, which is judgment. 16. Their children also shall dash to pieces. We'll go with Deuteronomy 28:50. A nation of a fierce countenance they shall not regard, young or old. Now, that specifically relates to talking about certain category groups of people relating to the characteristics relating to the curses of Deuteronomy 28. But that fierce nation, they're not going to regard young, old, elderly, babies, whatever the case might be. Their children also shall be dashed into pieces before their eyes. So a lot of things is going to happen to young ones right in front of their parents' eyes, man. Scripture's saying that. Their houses shall be spoiled. Go with 2 Ezra 15. I'll get that. I believe in 17. Their houses shall be spoiled and their wives ravished. Ravished means to pretty much take by force. I'm putting it mildly and nicely. So these things are going to happen. Number 17. Behold, I will stir up the Medes. Medes is the bear. That's Russia. Magog and Gog. Against them. So that spirit, that old USSR Soviet spirit is being raised up into the bear, man. That old USSR spirit, man. Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver. And as for gold, they shall have no delight. So they don't care about silver, gold, money, man. And that day they don't care. And he relates to these troops. Red Dawn is a good movie. We'll talk about invasion on the home front. It's an old movie back in the day. But a certain spirit is going to be put on the Medes, which is the Russians. And that spirit is being put on them little by little right now, man. So they're not going to regard your cankered silver, your gold, and your little precious commodities, man. Metals and commodities that day. Riches are not going to protect you in the day of the Lord's wrath, man. The scripture says, man. 18. Their bows, which are their weapons, shall dash the young men to pieces. War. Draft. Young men, young women. Scripture talks about the bridegroom. She won't have no helper. Won't have no mate. That's going to happen, man. Their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of thy womb, and their eyes shall not spare children. Whether she pregnant, children, elderly, they're not going to have pity, man. They have no allegiance, no connection here, so it's nothing to them, man. Talk about these troops. There was a movie back in called The Gray State, man, where they showed forms of martial law and the things that was going to happen in the latter times. They kind of re-edited or mocked it. But the person who actually the original movie of that, something happened to him and his family, man. Maybe because it revealed certain things that some people didn't want revealed, man. But it was going to tell certain things regarding in the latter times, man. And it showed a certain individual in the mass relating to a certain symbol, and then behind it, it was actually a guillotine, man. And he was in a mask like a hood. That's the Gray State. They had civil unrest. They were showing different things, man. Number 19, in Babylon, the glory. In Babylon, the glory of the kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldeans' excellency shall be as when God overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. So that's Babylon. This is going to be the second relating to Sodom and Gomorrah part 2. the upgraded version, new version. So it's gonna be as Sodom and Gomorrah, man, because this is modern day, more advanced Sodom and Gomorrah than the previous Sodom and Gomorrah, man. Number 20. And it shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation, neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there, neither shall the shepherds make their fold there. So Babylon's going to be a desolate place. That city of confusion is going to be desolate. Only the doleful creatures and the satyrs will be there dancing. And this is the next scripture. Wild beasts will be there, so it will be inhabitable, man. But the wild beast of the desert shall lie there, and their houses shall be full of doleful creatures, and owls shall dwell there, and the satyr shall dance there, man. And the wild beast of the islands shall cry in their desolate houses, and the dragons in their pleasant places, palaces. In her time is near to come. So it's nigh at hand, and her days shall not prolong. It should not tarry. Wait for it, because it shall surely come. Relating to Habakkuk. So these things are to come, man. These are things that's going to happen in a not so distant future, man. Go to Isaiah 34, relating to the judgment of the nations. What's going to happen, man? The indignation of the Yahweh shall upon these nations, man. We'll go to 2nd Ezra 15 and 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. That's a warning for destruction, for the inhabitants of the earth. Revelation 12 and 12. Woe unto the inhabitants of the earth and the sea, for the devil's going to come in great wrath, none but what? He has a short time, man. So that's a warning for the inhabitants, which are the nations and groups and nations and people on earth. Things that's going to happen, man. Number 15. For the sword in their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. Modern day sword is the guns, man. There was a thing, they arrested a group of, I think it was a hate group, because they were, I guess, against a certain specific group of people, specifically. So they arrested them. I forgot the city it was in. Let me see. So you're going to have that tension between different nations of people, man. And the modern day sword is the gun, man. Yeah, it was nationalist group. They arrested in the information. Yeah, there was a nationalist group they arrested with riot gear near Idaho. A certain event that was going on in Idaho. They were arrested for that because they had issues with certain people in those groups specifically. So you're gonna have the nation. You're gonna have tensions with the nation of people. Different nation groups of people with different other fashion of groups of people. And now you can say pretty much the civil unrest, even the race wars. Let's get that scripture again. For the sword in their destruction draweth nigh, and one people stand up to fight against another. So one group of people against another group of people. You can go at Isaiah 19 and 2, Shalak. The Egyptian versus the Egyptian. I'll get that one too, Lord willing. To fight against another, and the swords in their hands. And there shall be sedition among men, invading one another. They shall not regard their kings, nor their princes. The course of their actions shall stand in their power. So they're taking the course of the actions back in their hands, and they're now regarding the kings and princes. You're seeing that all over the world, man. From the United States, all different countries, man, over social, economical variety of issues, man. 17. A man shall desire to go into a city and should not be able to. Martial law, lockdown, curfews. A man shall desire to see and hear of someone. That's 2nd Ezra 16 and 27. So the communication is going to be cut. Be able to go to and fro is going to be cut. Those things, we were in the precursors of that a few years ago. Medical martial law, I believe they called it, or medical, lockdown or curfew. So we're going to go into a more advanced that relating to scriptures, man. For because of their pride, the city shall be in trouble. The houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid because of the pride. 2nd Ezra 8 and 50. For many great misery shall be done in the latter times because they walk great in pride. Pride is one of the major reasons why these things are coming. These calamities and different things, man. So the cities are going to be troubled because they relate to the state and condition, the things that's going to be going on in that time, man. The city of confusion, man. Be turned to a desolation, man. And men shall be destroyed. Not just men, but women and different, men, women, everybody, man. They're going to be afraid. That's going to be a very fearful time in that time, man. 19. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor. Home invasion. Invasion of personal, private properties. Why? Because they need things, man. There's going to be a short supply. 2nd Ezra 6 and 22, man. For the storehouses, for the places that were sown become unsown, paraphrasing, and the storehouses become empty, man. Things are going to be scarce, man. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods. And that goes with the one I was reading Isaiah 13, man. So they're going to spoil their goods, man. And spoil everything that's in that house as well, man. Because of a lack of bread, which is a lack of food, man. It's going to be a famine, man. Supply shortages. You got tampon shortages. You got sriracha sauce shortages. You have microchip shortages. You have you name it, you have it. You have it as a shortage potentially, man. So it's going to be a very complex and bleak time, man. Go to because of a lack of bread and great tribulation. Isaiah 19 and 2, since I quoted it. I will set the Egyptian against the Egyptian people. Citizen versus citizen. That's part of that division, man. Think not that I come to send peace, but a sword. Think not I come to send peace, but I say nay, division. For would already be, if the fire already be kindled. Paraphrasing. So that fire, that sword, that division is being set forth upon the people, man. 2 Timothy 3:1-6 talks about the characteristic and traits how these people are going to be. Unholy, ungrateful, disobedient to their parents, etc., etc., man. And I will set the Egyptian against the Egyptian, and they shall fight everyone against his brother. So division within your brother, your brethren, family, blood family, neighbor, city against city, kingdom against kingdom, hearing of wars, rumors of wars. Shall fight everyone against his brother, everyone against his neighbor, city against city, kingdom against kingdom, man. So that's the division, man. Also the divide within the rank infrastructures of the powers of government, man. Divide between, for example, the government statues, man, power, man, like Democrats, Republicans, Senate, all that. So that division is being set forth. Matthew 12, 25 and 26, Mark 3, 24 through 26, Luke 17 and 18, 11, 17 and 18, and Mark 3, 24 through 26, man. If the city divided, what shall be its end, man? So the vision of the rank of destruction, man. So that divide, which ultimately is going to lead to the fracture and to the collapse, man. This was something short. Lord willing, I hope it helps in some way. This brother Zayab, give all praise to Yahweh Bashim Yoshua Bashim Rakakadash, means wolf. Hope it helps. Shalom.